Hey guys, it's Jordan. So today I am making marshmallow fudge, which is really easy. All you need is unsalted butter. So this is just like a block of butter, some marshmallows, icing sugar, vanilla extract or vanilla essence, and some milk. So we're going to start by measuring out 450 grams of sugar. Icing sugar, or powdered sugar I guess you would call it in some places. So 450 grams of this, which is like most of this bag, because they come in 500 gram bags. So this is quite like thing made it's all clumped together, so it's going into this, but it's 300. $4.25, 430. 450. There we go. So there's like just enough left to make like icing for cupcakes or something. So that's going to be sieved into this bowl. Move the scales out the way for a minute. Do you know what? I'm going to grab a spoon. 2 seconds. So I've just grabbed a tablespoon and I'm just going to scoop it in now and like press it against the sieve so that it'll be nice and smooth in the bowl and there's no like clumps. And like, oh, I can't get the camera to sit down properly again. So now that's all set, we're going to put that to the side. We're going to get a pot or saucepan or whatever you want to call it, and your scales, and you want to measure out 100 grams. 100 grams of marshmallows. Can I get to open it? Yep. So we want 100 grams of marshmallows. Oh, there's going to be a vegetable dish, right? There we go. And they're going to be put into the pan along with, no, if I remember correctly, this butter is marked where each 50-gram line is. However, I could be remembering incorrectly. Wait a second. Why is I usually have marks on them? Wait a second. No marks. So we're going to guesstimate with the scales, and by guesstimating I mean we're going to cut it and hope for the best. 250, so that's like 125. So let's go look there and see what that is. Oh, that is 100 grams exactly. Right, pop that into that pan, wrap your butter up again. I don't know how this thing is, so we're just going to go like so. That'll do. It goes in a butter dish anyway. Right, so now we're done with those. Now, the next step is to add your vanilla. So you want a ½ teaspoon of vanilla. ½ teaspoon of vanilla in. Oh, that vanilla smells strong. Yeah. Put that to the side with the rest of the ingredients. And finally, 2 tablespoons of milk. Sorry about my chickens. 2. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're really loud. So yeah, now that's going to go on a low heat until everything in the pot is melted and combined. And yeah, so I'm going to reposition the camera so that you can see the hob and you can see the worktop, and then yeah. Right, so we're now at the hob, and I'm just going to put this front heater on a low heat and grab a wooden spoon. Out my drawer many things. And you're just going to stir until it's all melted together. And it might take a while. The first thing to melt will be the butter, obviously, and then the marshmallows will go next. This is awkward because I'm left-handed, so cookers are an awkward experience. But so this is on the lowest heat pretty much, and you're just going to stir until the marshmallows start to go sticky and the butter starts to melt and it all like combines together. So while that is melting, because that doesn't stir constantly, I'm going to go into the oven and find the tray I'm going to use. And it's not there. That's fine. It was there earlier. It's not in there, is it? No, that's a grill pan. Sometimes. I need to wash it. Right. So the pan I'm going to use isn't there, but I'll just keep stirring this and then deal with it. Okay, so we've got our pan on the heat, and then this is the tray I'm going to use. And I'm just going to measure it some parts, like newspaper paper for it. So yeah, this should be big enough, hopefully. Yeah, plenty of room. So to get the greaseproof to stick, I'm going to grab some spray oil and just spray it on the tray, and then hopefully that'll get stick better. So that's it. Maybe I need to spray it more. So spray all the surfaces, including all the edges. Just give that a quick stir. Oh, that's almost ready. Oh, I missed. That's fun. I can clean that up there. Okay. So now that it's all oiled, lovely, we're going to get our greaseproof paper and just lay it in there and make sure that it's all sticking how it should be. Each edge is stuck down and slide across to make sure there's no too many folds in the paper. There we go. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to spray it again. I'm going to use a different oil because I feel like that one's a bit thinged. No, do not use it because the other one's olive oil. So I'm just going to spray that. And then get a bit of kitchen towel and sort of just wipe it over. So just get your kitchen roll, just the one sheet folded into a quarter, and just take it right across to make sure there's not too much excess oil. So now that that's done and the pot is nice and melted, as you can see that's nice, that's all well mixed. So we're just going to let those marshmallows finish melting and then add it to the icing sugar. So that's just almost done. So that's just going to keep stirring this just until everything's melted down. Put this away. So take it off the heat. Here's the bowl of icing sugar. Hopefully you can see all this. Sorry, just trying to, so yeah. Is it going to focus? Are you going to focus? There we go. So that's nice and liquidy. So we're just going to pour this into the icing sugar. So that's all of that in. Put that to the side. Oh, I'm dripping marshmallow everywhere. And we're just going to start and fold the icing sugar into it. I should have chosen a bigger bowl. This was a bad idea. Oh well. So I'm just going to be very careful. Choose a big bowl. Don't have the icing sugar right to the top of the bowl. I should have chosen like this is the biggest bowl I have clean just now. Dang it. So I'm just going to carefully fold this in. Just carefully. Now I used pink and white marshmallows because that was all I could get in the shop. But you're meant to use just one colour marshmallows, so if you want it like pink, choose pink marshmallows. If you want it white, choose white marshmallows. It's your choice. If you want it this colour, use pink and white marshmallows. You just go keep folding the icing sugar in. And try not to spill too much. It would have been easier to do this if I had done it into the pot rather than the other way around. Oh well. So this bit, depending on what size bowl you've got, can take a while, as you can see. I'm going to put mine back in the pan and mix it because it's starting to like solidify and it's really not going that well. So I'm just going to bail this out. Dump all the icing sugar in there. As much of this out as possible. And then I'm knocking stuff over now. Put it on this tiny little heat. It just needs to be enough to mix. Need to all, don't even like properly, need to all be mixed in. There we go. So I'm just going to keep mixing this until it's smooth, whatever that's meant to mean. Because this does not look smooth just now. Yeah. That's it. So the final step in this is to put it onto the thing, the tray. So this tray is actually a bit big, I'm pretty sure, but we're just going to go with it. Just look at that. Ooh, just pure sugar pretty much. we go. And now we're just going to smooth it out as best we can. And you know what I'm going to do? Give up. Nah, we're just going to smooth it down. Using a wooden metal spoon instead of a wooden one. There we go. So this really isn't a great amount, but what we're going to do is fold it over into this corner. We're just going to try and get as much of it into, and try to get this as straight as possible, because this tin is way too big, and try even out the spread of the mixture as best we can. So that is what it looks like now. So as you can see, it's just half the tray, and we're going to leave that to cool and then chill it in the fridge for 3 hours. Okay, so we've left this to cool for a few minutes, so I'm going to go pop it in the fridge for 3 hours, and then when it's done I will remove it from the tray and cut it into squares. Okay, so I've taken the fudge out the fridge and it's been chilling for about 3 hours now. So we're just going to remove it from the grease proof, and then I'm going to get a chopping board and chop it up. This has come away off that really easily, so I'm kind of glad I oiled that, because that caused it to stick originally, but made it really easy to remove. And then just peel this off quickly. Now there's a few wee bumps in this. It isn't perfect, but I also didn't have the right size tray or anything, so I wasn't expecting this batch to turn out perfect. This is mainly due to the fact that the last time I made fudge, I tried to cut the fudge in the tray, and it was a silicone tray, and I sent the knife through the bottom of it, which wasn't that great. But so now we're just going to make some score marks right across and cut this into columns before we cube it. So just make a slice there and remove that and put it back on the greaseproof, and then make another about here. And put that back on the greaseproof, and then move it over so that there's more of it on the main cutting part. I should have chosen a bigger chopping board, but they are all in the wash. So we're just going to have to deal with this and hope for the best. So you may have noticed that if you're super observant, that when I put it in the fridge, it was quite sort of bumpy around the edge and not very straight, and then it was kind of a bit more straight and had a much sharper edge to it when I brought it over and started cutting it once it was out. And that's because I actually removed that edge to make it easier to cut, and it also got my parents' umbrella off my back about trying it. So they have had some, and this is just like the excess that's going to end up going in a tub and being saved for later. It'll probably be gone by dinner though. So the fudge should be quite chewy. It shouldn't be rock solid like tablet, but it shouldn't be overly chewy to the point it's like a gummy sweet. It should be sort of in the middle, a bit like a toffee, or a sort of hardened caramel sort of consistency, but with a softer texture to it when you eat it. If you oiled the greaseproof paper like I did, it will be a bit greasy on the bottom when you remove it, but that will dry out and leave within 5-10 minutes of it being out. So what we're going to do is, I don't have any bigger tubs, so this is just a tub that I got from the takeaway one day. I'm just going to cut these like horizontally across, and just make them into cubes like you would get in a bag of fudge, but not uniform, because you want them to have that sort of homemade look, so you don't want them to all be the same size. Don't worry about it as long as they're around about the same size. Don't have some tiny and some massive, because that's not fair on whoever's picking them out. Obviously this hasn't been rolled properly, as you saw when I lifted it out, and as I pointed out, there was loads of wee deformities in the bottom of it where it hadn't quite pushed down into the tray. And that's fine, that's to be expected, especially with the fact I didn't use a rolling pin, I just used a spoon to flatten it. If these had been done for me to sell as a business, I would have had the right size tray or used the right amount of ingredients for the tray I used, but I didn't have enough icing sugar for that. And I would have rolling pinned the fudge out into the tray rather than just used a wooden spoon, so that way it would get down into all of these wee corners and like wee crevices that you can't get to with the spoon. So the fudge will stick to the other pieces, and actually the recipe, I took this from the card that the recipe comes on. On one side it has a picture of how they suggest serving them, and they are all individually wrapped in like a sort of plastic film, but I'm lazy, so we're going to go this way instead. You just want to make sure that when you cut them you sort of push them away just so they have that sort of separation for a second. So these ones that I've just done are a lot smaller than some of the others, but honestly size doesn't matter because these taste absolutely amazing. They're great for if you're like going out on a trip, or you're travelling, or you're going out for the day and you're taking a picnic. They're just like a great sweet treat, especially if you have like low blood sugars or you're going hiking. It's great to just boost those blood sugars because there's icing sugar and there's fats, but there's also like marshmallows and that in them. So really high sugar content, quite high in fats as well. So you don't really have to worry about like obviously if you're diabetic then you have to worry, but if you're taking them on a walk in case of low blood sugar, they are great for that. That'll be the only uniform ones in the entire batch. So that's it all cut, and that's like a full takeaway tub. So that will probably serve, like there's 4 people in my household, that will probably do us about 2 days. If you have more or you need more, like obviously you can double the batch. It's quite easy numbers to double. It's like a 450, a 100, a 2.5, like they're easy numbers to double. So scaling the batch up isn't difficult. Scaling the batch down on the other hand is a completely different matter, but yeah, really good. They look delicious. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video and you enjoy making these if you do attempt it. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Like, they are amazing. The recipe that I used I have put down in the description, along with like my links to my other social medias in which I do different stuff, and also the copyright if you want to know where I get my music from. It's bensound.com, and that's all down in the description as well. So if you want to try it, let me know how it goes in the comments section, and I hope you have a good one. Until next time.